welcome to episode 21 of the Lonely Knitter podcast. Hi, if you are a new viewer, welcome to the madness, and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. My name is Laura and this is my little crafty corner of the internet where I come to chat mainly about my knitting. I am coming to you from Folk Yarn Studio. This is not my house. This is my closed yarn dyeing studio and home of all the other things that I now do. So this is my workspace, and yeah, I'm coming to you from Lowestoft. It's the most easterly town in England, in the UK, and if you hear seagulls, it's because I am very close to the sea. Today is Wednesday the 29th of January, and please excuse me if you can hear creaking noises or any sort of background noise. I am in a wider building with lots of different spaces for lots of different businesses, so yeah, if you hear background noise, it's because I am not alone. I am alone in here, but not alone, obviously. You can find me over on Instagram as Folk Yarn Studio, and you can also find me as East Anglia Yarn Festival. I organise East Anglia Yarn Festival, EAYF, which is a yarn show, an annual show in Norwich in the UK. We are held at the Norfolk Showground Arena, and yeah, we have more than 85 vendors. They're amazing, and they're all going to be with us in March this year. You can find all the details over on the website, which is eastanglia.yarnfestival.co.uk. And the other side of my business, which is Folk Yarn Studio, you can find my website online as well under those names, and yeah. The podcast has been going for a lot longer than I have had a business of any kind, and is just, yeah, the place where I came originally to chat about knitting because I didn't have any in-person knitting friends. Please also do come and join us in the Discord group. I will put a link below. It is just a community of like-minded fun folk who all knit or crochet or craft, and we chat about knitting, crochet, spinning, other fibre arts, all sorts of things. Anything's crafty, it's allowed. There is a thread in there for if you make anything in 50% or more of my yarn, where you can pop your projects, and you can be with the chance of winning prizes quarterly that I draw from there. I do have a current Makealong running. It is the Friends That Grimble Together Makealong that I am co-hosting with Helen of the Giddy Yarns, Giddy Knits, the Giddy Knits podcast, Dire Behind Giddy Yarns. And we are making the gnomes. I have the book this week from the Gnomes of Grimblewood book by Sarah Schira, and all of Sarah's wider patterns as well. We both have threads in our Discord, and we will be drawing prizes from there along the way as well. I check in on the Discord, and I try and check in daily with our 5 minutes a day crafting challenge, which is just my way of holding myself accountable to sitting down and doing the things that I love, because otherwise time goes so quickly that it runs away and I have lost it before I had a chance to grab it. I think that was everything that I was going to mention at the beginning, but just a little reminder that if you do watch my videos and you do fancy hitting that subscribe button or a thumbs up or popping a comment below, I would love it. I will give you a little prompt at the end of the video, if you've watched all the way through to the end, where you can pop a little emoji in the comments, because one of my friends keeps telling me to do it, and I am going to do it. So I will be mentioning that at the very end. And I also have a little giveaway to announce today for this channel. So, a little giveaway. You may remember, if you've watched my videos throughout last December, that I had purchased the Spin Blether self-stripe sock advent calendar. Well, I purchased it and it came really quickly. Spin Blether are, in my opinion, give really good customer service. I have bought their advent for the last couple of years and still haven't done the one from December this year. It's on my list, but December ran away with me. Anyway, after it had been delivered, I received another package from Spin Blether, and it was replacement 50-gram skeins for my advent. So the amazing dyer behind Spin Blether has contacted me and said that there is absolutely nothing wrong with these. They are fine to be knit with. It's just that with the card that she had sent out, the stripes weren't the length that she wanted them to be to hit the right amount of stripes for a certain size sock. And I mean, this is the detail that goes into this. I mean, it's amazing, and yeah, another little tick box in why Spin Blether are a brilliant company to purchase from in my experience. So she said to just keep the 2 original skeins. Whatever I wanted to do with them was absolutely fine. They're the same colourway as the original one, so if anybody would be interested in a Spin Blether Advent pair of original skeins where the stripes might be slightly slimmer than mine, I believe, or a different size, this is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's 400 meters to 100 grams in the colourway Fleece Navidad, and it's 2 50-gram skeins. So I will pop in with this because I pinched out the minis, because the minis were just to move across with my replacement skeins. So I have the minis, but I'm going to pop you in, they're not the exact same base, but I'm going to pop you in some of my sock base undyed minis. I'll put you 2 undyed minis in here as well. And yeah, I will draw a winner from the comments on this video. So if you would like to have Fleece Navidad self-stripe, the Advent from 2024 from Spin Blether, comment below with, I have an idea, tell me what your favourite sock recipe is, whether that be a pattern sock from somebody that's a paid for pattern, whether that be a vanilla sock, what needles do you use, what technique do you use, are you magic loop, are you DPNs, are you 2 short circulars, are you those little, what are they called, flip-flops? No. Flexi flips? I don't know. A short one, just a little tiny short one that I can never get on with. What's your favourite method? How many stitches do you cast on? That sort of information. Give me a little rundown of how you make your socks. Do you like toe up? Do you like cuff down? Anything. Give me some info. And I am aware that there might be some people who just want to watch the video, might want to comment, but don't particularly fancy this. That's absolutely fine. I don't know why you wouldn't. It's gorgeous. But if you do want to, please can you also just put the word striping in your comment somewhere, and that way I can pull them out as well easily. So this is the giveaway. If you like it, let me know. It needs to go to a new home because it deserves to be loved. I will pop in 2 20-gram minis as well. It's open worldwide. Wherever you are, I'll post it to you. So let me know. And also, before I forget, because otherwise I will forget, I am currently wearing the Orla cardigan, which is a pattern by Jamie Dorfman. It's from her book. She's Jamie Creates on Instagram, and it was a test knit from like a year and a half back, 2 years ago, nearly 2 years ago. And it is, it's just a cabled, chunky cardi. I love it. My body shape has changed considerably since I made it, and it is now quite oversized. So it lives at the studio, and whenever I'm cold, and I'm cold today because it's freezing, I literally just bundle up and layer. And so this is my favourite big layer for when I am doing admin and things like that. Not when I'm dyeing, because otherwise everything gets dye on it. So I have 2 FOs this week. Let's march on with the podcast. My first finished object is Noodles the Gnome. This is not a gnome in my Makealong, my friends at Grimble Together with Helen of Giddy Yarns, but I'm probably gonna, I reserve the right to claim it as a Makealong gnome if right at the end I haven't finished my noodles because it's all gone wrong. But this is Noodles, and Noodles is a squeaky chair. Noodles is not mine. Noodles is for my daughter Ellie. She was 8 on Thursday last week, and I made this in 2 evenings. It is the quickest ever little project. Yeah, the Sarah's instructions are really simple. This is one of the gnomes from the Gnomes of Grimblewood book, and yeah, Sarah's instructions are really simple, really well written, and it was really quick to make. And you've just seen my second FO. Ellie absolutely loved it. I did have to manhandle it from her to bring it to show on the podcast, and I have promised I will take it straight back home afterwards. And I thought I would just show the size difference between Noodles, the smallest gnome, and Nolan, which was the first gnome that I made for our Makealong. That's a significant difference. Noodles is like, oh no, not the same as the hat, but very small. Like, in terms of height, we're talking about half the difference. It's about half, but he's also incredibly dinky. Looks like a parent and a baby. I love them. I'm going to pop them over here, but only for a little while, because otherwise my 8-year-old will come for me when I have not returned her gnome. The next thing I have to show you, I have another finished object. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is finished. This is the DK Weight squishy advent shawl. I don't know what to call it. If anybody has any ideas, please feel free to suggest, because I am in desperate need. But this is the advent pattern that I have written up. It is all now completely written up. I have made some adjustments. I have a couple of people who've offered to test it. Thank you so much. I will send you emails if you've already sent me your email address, or messages, or however we've spoken. I will get that sorted. I've already made this once in fingering weight with the Giddy Yarns Hogfather Advent, which was this December's advent from Helen. This is my advent calendar from 2024 in DK instead of sock. And yeah, it started here and goes through all 24 colours, and you can see, here we go. This is the stitch marker from the last podcast episode. So put that in after I recorded 1 week ago, and it's a glass pokeball. You'll probably not be able to see it because I'm not sure my camera will focus, and I record a bit differently now, so I can't see if you can see it, but it's a little glass pokeball from Flame Knits, and I love it. And I have, in a week, gone from sort of there all the way through to the end and cast off. I did cast off this morning. I wouldn't usually knit in the morning at work. I would be working, but because I only had the cast off left to do, I was like, I'm going to cast off just so I can share it on the podcast today. That was very excited. I was worrying about the width of the shawl, considering how much smaller my stripes are than on the fingering weight version. I didn't need to be. I am very happy with it. I'm going to take this off while I show you what I mean. I've picked the creakiest chair to sit on today. Anyway, this is it, and you wrap it round. Now this is unblocked, and this is superwash yarn, so it's going to grow, and I'm perfectly happy. So I don't think it needs to be any longer, and I'm happy with the width as well. So I will probably, most of the time, end up wearing it as a blanket when I'm here at the studio or at home, or I'll wear it with my coat like this as a scarf. But we snuggle up under shawls in our house. My Hogfather shawl, which is the same pattern but in fingering weight, is still at home because it's on my sofa, where me and both my children have been getting underneath it in the evenings, and I love it. So yeah, I'm really happy. I have no idea what to call the pattern. It's now going into testing. I can't believe it's finished. I can't believe I've finished 2 advent projects so far this year. I'm in shock. I need to take the stitch marker off so that I don't lose it, because otherwise I will block it with that on there and forget about it completely. But yeah, my next aim is to block this before I record again, and I will report back as to how much it grows, and yeah, when I block it out. So those are both of my finished objects, which I think were both of the projects that I had for last week's episode, like, to show you. So I'm not sure that's ever happened before. So I have 2 finished objects, and technically I have no whips, but I do have whips that I have prepped and I'm ready to go on, so I'm going to share. So I'm on the creakiest chair in the world. So first up, I have this bag. I have dug out a not Christmas project bag because as I have now finished this project, I feel like I can put the Christmas project back down. This bag I got a couple of years ago, I think. Oh no, it might have been last year. It might have been last year. Not last year. Year before last at Yarndale, I think. Might have dreamt that completely. It's a Lay Family yarn bag. This is the tag. So it's beautiful. The main body of the bag is woven yarn, hand-dyed yarn, woven. And it's gorgeous. And it's from Lay Family Yarn. The other side's a slightly different colour. And then it's got a velvety bottom. Kelly, who runs Lay Family Yarn, is like a long-term, way before me, indie yarn dyer in the UK. If you haven't heard of her, where you been? But she's lovely and also very talented. Well, their whole family is, because I'm not sure if her daughter works for them as well, but they're a husband and wife team, definitely. And yeah, so this is one of Kelly's bags, and I absolutely love it. And woven, knitted, well, not knitted, woven yarn, you know what I mean. It's gorgeous. Anyway, inside I have a new project. I have a skein of undyed, what's happened, oh my gosh, I have a skein of undyed yarn that I have caked up. This is DK weight yarn. I have needles, this is too long a cable for this project. It does not need to be this excessively long. I am about to show the yarn. Now, I believe that everyone who ordered the We Got This mini skein club for January who did not choose quarterly shipping has received theirs. So, because it went a while back. So if you have not received your We Got This mini skein club and you don't want to be spoiled, I won't say what the colour is, but I'm about to show it. So look away now and I'll tell you when you can look back. So this is January. I have brought one in the packaging because I have a few spare that I'm going to be popping on the website. So they'll be on the website if you're interested in joining. But this was my mini skein club for this year, and this is January's. So it comes in a package like this. I'm not sure how easily you're going to be able to see it, but I have some caked up minis in my bag that I'm going to show you as well. Don't look back if you're looking away. And there was a warning that said that anybody who had chosen quarterly shipping, be prepared to be spoiled if that's the option you'd like, because it's not I'll be posting them on Instagram before then, and yeah, it's just part of it. So the We Got This minis, each one comes, and yes, they are in plastic packaging, just for clarification, because I know there'll be someone who'll say, you can see there's a sticker on the back and it says, this outer packaging has been saved and repurposed for your club package. Please reuse and recycle wherever possible. I have mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again. I was given a lot of plastic packaging. It was rescued. I was given the option. They said, oh, would you like this? If you don't, we'll just chuck it in the bin, don't worry. This massive stack of plastic packaging. When it's gone, I will be when it's gone, I will be swapping for the completely biodegradable. It's a very different texture. I don't like it as much, but that's just tough because I'll get on with it. But yeah, you'll notice that these sometimes are a little bit hodgepodge together, and that is just because the size that she gave me was larger than I needed, and my opinion was, if I can cut them up and repurpose them rather than have them go in the bin, I will do that. So that's why it has a sticker on the back, and that's why they're in plastic. It also protects them because I use paper mailers and everything else is paper. So if they do get stuck anywhere damp, they'll be okay. Inside you will notice there is a little paper bag. It says We Got This. Inside is a stitch marker and a little card that is from me. It won't be available at any time other than in the club, and each month comes with a different quote on it that I have put onto one side, and on the other side is sort of what that means to me and how life can be and stuff like that, because last year was really hard. Sometimes I think I forgot what was most important in life and what, you know, really matters, and the little things and stuff dragged me down a lot. So we got this, and the colours are these three. So they're very similar to the background colours of the post, but you'll see this one. I don't know if this is focusing at all. I'm gonna move around a little bit. Here we go. So I'm hoping that this will help you to be able to see them. But yeah, so these are the three colours. I have caked them up. We are going to be on a big gradient adventure, sort of gradient adventure. We're jumping around a little bit. I am not a true, this is a totally different project bag. What have I done with my bag? What have I done with my bag? I didn't go anywhere. I haven't left this area, and yet I have lost my project bag. It fell off the other side. Anyway, so I have got all the things that I need for this project in this bag, and so that is, here we go. I'm still showing the yarn, don't look back if you're looking away. Here we are, so with the undyed skein, and I am going to be making the Sweet Shop blanket by Laura Penrose. I'm putting them away. Okay, the yarn is away. You are safe if you haven't been wanting to be spoiled. So they're all in this blanket. They are going in this bag because this is not a blanket. They're going to be a blanket, and they're in this bag. And yeah, the Sweet Shop blanket by Laura Penrose is my plan. I'm going to cast this on today and get cracking. I would love to have those 3 squares. I'm going to make 3, one with each one, even though I think you can make 2 out of each one. But because I'm doing half the main colour and half undyed in each square. But I would love them to be each finished in their month each month. But I can give myself a little bit of leeway. It's the 29th of January. It's been a very busy month, and it's only going to carry on being very busy. So we'll see, but I want to get it started today. My other project that is now going to start being worked on is my Daft Days cardigan. So the Daft Days cardigan is a pattern by the Crea Bayer. That's Rebecca Clow. Rebecca, her pattern, I've knit some of her patterns before, I love them. Test knit a pattern as well. the stick season pullover. Love Rebecca's patterns in the past, haven't got very far into this one. Her pattern was chosen as one of the Makealong patterns for this year's East Anglia Yarn Festival. Every year we choose 2 patterns, 1 crochet and 1 knit, and the idea is you make the thing and then you wear it to the show and you can pick up a free ribbon award that you can pin to your project. It's just a little bit of fun. I usually fail on this pattern, on the Makealong, and I'm always very cross at myself. I'm having another go this year. Let's see. Now, before Christmas, I had decided on these colours. So these are all my own hand-dyed yarn. But the idea was going to be that I was going to use this for the main colour. And then you can stripe all different colours into it. You could do a monochrome version or whatever. But I was going to stripe these 3 throughout. So main colour and then broken up with those stripes. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what I was going to do. This was my original plan. And these were yarns that I had dyed for that. I have since, squeakiest chair in the world, I have since changed my mind. I'd cast on, I'd wound 1 skein up and I had cast on and knit barely an inch. I don't think I might not have even done like 3 rows. It was the cast on 3 rows. And all I kept thinking was, am I going to regret these colours? I'm looking at them. That's all I could think was, am I going to regret these colours? Am I going to regret them? And I kept thinking as well that I really, really wanted it to be in my folk yarn instead. The new colours arrived for folk yarn. So folk is my East Anglian yarn that I get made. The wool is sourced from East Anglia and then goes to Yorkshire. Some of it is dyed, some of it is spun, because I've got fibre now as well actually in that. But it's spun up, some of it's dyed, comes back to me in the most easterly town in England. And yeah, I have all this gorgeous yarn and I want more samples out of it. I have got a friend making me a crochet jumper in my folk yarn. I love my folk yarn and I want more things in it. So I just kept thinking, I've made a mistake. I need to pick different colours and I need to pick the folk yarn. I decided in the end that life is too short to knit things that I am not 100% sure of. So I grabbed these. So folk yarn, this is the DK, but folk yarn is it's our own blend of 60% Romney, 20% BFL and 20% Suffolk wool. This is the DK base. I have it in a DK and a fingering weight base. And I chose these 3 colours. So this is Sandringham, California GY, because there is a little tiny town, hamlet by village, I don't know what you'd call it, just on the other side of Yarmouth, Great Yarmouth, called California. So California GY. And then this last one, which is one of the original colours, which is Holt. So my new decision is main body of the jumper, the cardigan, is going to be in Holt, because I think it's going to be the most wearable for me as well. So main colour, we have Holt. The stripes, I will alternate between Sandringham and California. So yeah, that main colour, striping with these 2. I think I'll wear it more. I think it'll make me really happy. Yeah, this is a non-superwash yarn. It's it's kind of more special to me. I just keep thinking, this is what I want. So these ones will go back on the shelf because they have yarn bands on and I don't want to waste that. But I have in here other ones that have not been caked up yet. And I have caked up my first one and even have the needle. Very messily now, it was neater before. So my other aim for today is to cast on my Daft Days again. So I have pulled out the other one. That yarn, I am saving it. It's probably not going to go on sale. I know a couple of people have said to me, if you want to sell those colours, I will message me if you still really want them and I'll see what I can do. But I do want those colours. I want to do something, and I think I might do something for my little boy out of them. So they're going to go back into stash for now. And this is the new project. So it's currently living in this bag, which is a pigment and ply bag. Jess, a pigment ply, she's a yarn dyer and a bag maker and a candle maker as well, I think. I love her bags. She makes quite a few of her bags with this absolutely gorgeous velvety, is velvet the word? I don't know. It's the loveliest fabric in the whole world. It's one of, I'm a bit funny with how some fabrics feel, and this one is one that I just want to do this all the time. It's creepy. I'm a gremlin. But yeah, so living in my pigment and ply bag. So let's not be under any illusion that next week is going to be like last week. Last week I came here with a gnome, not even started. Well, no, it was started. I think I'd knit the hat or something. But I came with a gnome that needed a lot of work and a shawl that I think still had like a third to go. Yeah, I was on day 13 and I went all the way through to day 24 and cast off. And I had a finished gnome. That is not happening again next week. I doubt there is going to be any finished anything next week. Good luck. But I'm casting on the Daft Days to get today. I'm casting on the Sweet Shop blanket today, and we'll see how we go. It might be a little while before we get an FO. I can't guarantee I'm not going to be throwing in some other things, because too long without any kind of instant gratification is not me. One of the other things that I really want to do is grab a skein of DK yarn out of my stash. I have some really gorgeous ones for some really lovely dyers, and make myself some DK socks. I have DK socks in my drawers. I love them. I feel like it would be a quick knit, and I'm still really struggling with my circulation. I wear thermal socks all the time, and I have been wearing my knitted DK weight socks, and they have been really snuggly and lovely. But I only have a few pairs of DK weight ones, so that might be something that jumps in over the next week as well. In terms of plans and planners, I have my plans, I have my 2 projects that I want to do, but I do have another plan. This is a plan. So this is, I think that's the pattern. I'm not sure. Maybe the pattern's on the inside. But this is to make this, I'm throwing things on the floor. This is to make this blanket. I got this a while back from my lovely local yarn shop, which is Over the Hook in Lowestoft. And it's not going to change colour on its own. They are individual sections like minis, but it's that chenille. I know some people don't like it. I do. There is a place in my heart for all yarn, commercial and hand-dyed, and yeah, there is a place in my heart for all of it. I have a sister-in-law that is pregnant and due not that long away now, actually. Oh yeah, wow, I haven't got very long. And I knew that I wouldn't have a huge amount of time to make a blanket, but I wanted to make a blanket. So when I was in the lovely 80s shop, Over the Hook, I had a little look at things, and one of the things that he had out were these packs. And I thought, well, I can make this. I know I can make this. It's going to work up super, super quick. It's going to be really soft. I'm going to make it. So I don't know when it's going to start. I don't know if it'll start this week, but I'm going to have to start leaving this out places so that I remember to do it, because otherwise suddenly there will be a baby and I will be an auntie again, and there will not be anything for that baby, which has happened to a lot of babies that have come into my life over the last couple of years. When it comes to planners, I am keeping up with my project planner. So this is the Tilly Flop project planner that I talked about at the beginning of the year, and I have filled it out for the projects that I have finished. So I have popped in the details for the DK advent wrap, for my cast off, and I did say I was going to print some pictures. My printer hasn't been working, but I will print some pictures to go in on the opposite page, I think, at some point. But Ellie's birthday Noodles the Gnome is in there, and yeah, I knit it from 2 of my hand-dyed yarn colours. I've talked about it in previous videos, and yeah. But I just put a little bit of a note in there as well, just to say Ellie's 8th birthday gnome started and completed in less than 3.5 hours with distractions. It's a teeny gnome. I just thought it was a fun little thing to put in there. Yeah, I reckon less than 3.5 hours, and I had been watching the TV, I had been chatting to my husband, I have been responding on Discord to stuff, and yeah, it's 2 evenings whilst I was also doing other things. So it was a lovely, speedy little make. And I am using my project planner, which was one of the main things I really wanted to do this year and have a bit more of a record. And it also means that when January is officially done, I, if I wanted, could do a little January roundup of all the things that I made, and I would know, because I would actually have the details for once. Now, I have not done any spinning. I'm really cross with it as well, because I have my e-spinner is out at home on show with the stuff ready for me to do it. Every evening has been mad. I have worked more than I thought I was going to in the evenings. I was trying to keep the evenings free for family stuff and crafting and doing things, and it doesn't always happen the way you want it to happen, so it hasn't, and that's just life. I can live with it. So yeah, I I haven't done any spinning, but I will be back at it next week. And I have a braid sat where you can't see it down here that I want to spin on this wheel. That is my Magical Worlds Club, which I will show you next episode, but I want to make sure that everyone's has been delivered before I share it on the podcast. Same as I did with the minis, really. I also don't have any stash enhancement yet again. I haven't bought anything that's arrived. I have bought one thing. I have bought one thing. I keep forgetting about it. I bought a bag. I was massively influenced. I did a studio stitch morning on Monday, first Monday morning one here, and it went really well. And one of my lovely ladies showed me this amazing bag that I think she got for Christmas. And I had Christmas money. And I didn't know what, well, I did know what to do with it. I had about 1,000,001 plans, and this plan won out. It's a bag. It's coming. I'm very excited. When it gets here, I will show you. But I don't have anything with me this week, but I have bought a bag. In terms of watching, I have started watching The Traitors. I know a lot of you are Traitors fans. A lot of people have said, do you watch The Traitors? To me before. And I was like, no, I don't know what that is. And then when my brother-in-law came round at the weekend to give Ellie a birthday present, he mentioned it. And me and my husband were like, yeah, we'll try it at some point. He was like, no, you really should. Went on to iPlayer. I thought, we'll start with season 1. So I am, please don't spoil me. I haven't got a clue what's going on. I think they're on their 3rd season. I have no idea. I'm watching it on BBC iPlayer, and we are about 8 episodes in to series 1. It's amazing. I love it. I love the sort of psychology and how people interact with one another when they can't trust one another, and how people can manage everything. And it's amazing. It's amazing. I am on the edge of my seat all the time. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, Traitors series 1 I'm watching at the moment. In terms of reading, I am still reading the same book that I have been reading for the past couple of weeks on my Kindle, but I am about 75% of the way through, and I'm not going to give up on it. It's The Wives by Valerie Keogh. There are a few bits in there where I was a bit like, I think I'm not going to carry on because it was annoying me. Now it's got really interesting. Yeah, now someone has died. Big spoiler. Dun dun dun. It has got really interesting. I have slipped my Kindle inside this, which I found again yesterday. This is a little Kindle case that doesn't have a pattern. It's just crochet. It's like a little sleeve that I'd made last year. I had my old Kindle in, my old Kindle broke, and yesterday when I was doing some clearing out, I found it. I was like, oh, my new Kindle can live in there. So yeah, I'm still reading The Wives. I'm hoping by the time I record next, I will have finished it, and I have a new book on the horizon that I'm thinking about buying. Maybe, we'll see. Might see what else Prime is offering me for free, because The Wives I didn't have to pay for. It was on my, well, obviously I have paid for it, but it was with my Prime membership. In terms of life stuff, obviously we've had one child's birthday. At the weekend we had a cousin's birthday and a friend's birthday. My children had 2 rock climbing parties on Saturday that they both went to. I feel like I came out of that day a little bit in shock. Both of my children realised a fear of heights that I didn't think we had. I don't ever want to do 2 rock climbing parties in a day ever again. It was a very busy weekend. On Sunday we came to work. We worked all morning. The kids had a busy day on the Saturday. They needed a little break anyway, and they bring loads of toys and stuff down here and stuff to do. But on the afternoon, Ellie had her birthday treat, which was to go to a pantomime. It's the local, the Lowest Off Players group. We went to see Goldilocks and the 3 Bears at the panto. I might put a little bit of video in at the end. It was brilliant. Not of the panto, but of my son's reaction to the panto. It was really, really good. Last week, I did have one little drama that I can't get out of my head, which is last week, after I'd recorded this, we went for a meal out for Ellie's birthday, and on the way came across a car that was upside down, and I was sort of 4 cars back in the queue. So it literally just happened. There was no emergency services on site, and my dad was meeting us at the restaurant, and my panic was that it might have been my dad. Anyway, we're all queued up anyway, so I jump out to go and see if anyone needs any help, or if anyone's called 999 yet, or the car's upside down, so I'm assuming emergency services have already been called. The first person I come across is my dad. He was 2 cars in front of me, witnessed the accident. The guy was, we think from the behaviour we'd seen previously by what we think is this car, and then my dad has obviously seen it, but like the car had been overtaking dangerously and had not realise there was a traffic island at one point in the road and hit it and flipped his car onto the roof. He'd managed to get himself half out of the car. A couple of doctors, there was one doctor and then a couple of minutes later another doctor, they'd both come to help. So Chris turned around and used a back road to take the children to the restaurant to feed them. Me and my dad stayed on site. My dad directed traffic. We had another man come and help direct the other end of the traffic. We moved cars to make a little bit of a roadblock to sort of protect the guy that was in the road. At one point I was holding this man's head. I have bad circulation problems. Obviously my fingers were on his skin, and he said, "Oh, your hands are lovely and cold." And I went, "Oh, your face is lovely and warm." I've never seen anything like that before myself. And yeah, we waited, I think, about 40 minutes before a fire engine came, because apparently they'd been told that the car was on fire. It was never on fire. And then another fire engine came. It's like, didn't see a fire engine, suddenly two come along, like buses. But we didn't need a fire engine, we needed an ambulance. And then the police came, and unfortunately, and at that point they took over, and my dad could stop turning cars around, and they put out roadblocks. My dad's always prepared, and he had a high vis in his car, so he was wearing high vis and had a big torch and was turning traffic around, and everyone sort of banded together to help the guy on the ground. And yeah, he was fine. I think they were being very careful with him and making sure that he was okay. But unfortunately, when we came back home, so me and my dad left, we went and met them at the restaurant, and we got something to eat while the kids were having their dessert. But we drove back past afterwards, and apparently there still wasn't an ambulance there. So it's just the strain on public services and everything. Just a little reminder of how short life is and how quickly things can happen, I suppose. Anyway, oh my gosh, if I have to go and get my children, I have to go. If you've got all the way through to the end, thank you so much. Leave me an emoji. Leave me an emoji of, okay, this is my favourite emoji. Everyone who knows me knows this is my favourite emoji. It's the little dancing woman. I hope you have it if you have, if you're not on an iPhone. But if you don't, a dancing person is fine. But there's like this, it's like a woman in a dress, a red dress, and she's like that, and it's like flicked up. If you've got all the way to the very end, well done. You're amazing. Leave me the emoji of the little dancing person. Yeah, I think that's about it. Anyway, if you've got all the way to the end, thank you so much. And thank you as always for making me so much less of a lonely knitter.